Hello everyone, a very good evening to all of you. Please let me know if I am properly audible and visible to all of you. Am I audible and visible? Okay, I assume I am. So first of all, this is the time change just for today. We usually have our classes at 8 p.m. Okay, so because of some family reasons, I am unable to take the class today at 8 p.m. So that's the first thing. Apart from that, we have this session where other things are gonna go as usual. We are going to start with skimming, then we are going to go through the vocabulary part, then the grammar questions. I hope we don't face any technical error today. This timing will help us with that. Then we are gonna go ahead with the question part and exam angle, where we will discuss some important things that we can take away from this article with respect to our exam. And this is the article from the Hindu. Okay, today's editorial. Can you guys please still let me know who have just joined if I'm properly audible and visible? Acha, by the way, if you're new here and you don't know me, my name is Niharika John Mehra. I'm your faculty of English and I have regular sessions here Monday to Saturday, 8 p.m. We have this editorial session. Just for today, we have made an exception. Class is at 5:30. Okay. How much troublesome is it to say, yes, ma'am, you are audible. We can hear you. We can see you. Video is not lagging. I mean, if I can teach you guys regularly for 1.5 1 hour, you can at least reply that I am audible and visible. Anyways, so like and share the session. Those who are feeling shy, that's okay, but at least like and share, and make sure to subscribe if you're new here. Okay, so what I'm going to do, we are going to start with skimming. Skimming is focusing on the subject and verb part of the sentence, especially subject and verb part. And from that, you understand what is the main action in the sentence, and then you move ahead. You don't go into the details of everything. Okay. So, like, I'll show you one example. Chief Minister M.K. Stalin. Okay. Now, if I have already read at least the title, I know it's about the about the state of Tamil Nadu and some bills related to it. So even if in my mind I say CM, of course I'll be talking about CM of Tamil Nadu. It's okay. I don't have to read it out, or I don't need to do lip sync when I'm reading, going through the article. These all things take time. Take a mental picture of it. Okay, like we click a photo, we don't go through specific elements of a photograph, right? ये कहाँ है, वो कहाँ है, but the whole picture के जैसा वो आपके mind में छपना चाहिए, and that's how you skim. Okay, so I'll give you 2.5 minutes to go through it. You skim it. Don't read it loud. Don't do lips, like your lips should not move. Okay, and yeah, 2.5 minutes में how much do you understand in a line or two? Right here. I'll scroll for you, so do not worry. That's the second part. Okay, time up. So in a line or two, what have you understood from the article? Please let me know that. Okay. It would be great if you can answer here. I will be really happy to see you people answering. Now, let's see what the article says. Enabling legislation on Tamil Nadu bills persons with disability. Okay, so if you remember a few days back, we uh, went through an editorial that spoke about how Tamil Nadu wants its own exam, and talking about the admissions not through NEET exam for medical seats and their government medical colleges. And this is something related, I mean, related to the same state. There is another bill now. Nomination of persons with disabilities to local bodies is a pioneering move. Okay, so first is enabling legislation that relates to persons with disabilities, and this is happening where? In Tamil Nadu. Second important thing, nomination of persons with disabilities, and nomination to where? To local bodies. जब किसी को किसी के लिए नॉमिनेट करा जाता है किसी जगह पर, we used to nominations, nomination of students, nomination of teachers to somewhere. Remember this. It is a pioneering move. Pioneering means something where someone is an innovator, that founding father kind of a figure. So this could be a move which is one of its own kind, and Tamil Nadu is going to be like a pioneer, like a front runner for this move. Okay, so that's what we have. Affirmative action remains one of the most effective ways. We are talking about action which is in yes, which is not against. Okay, so such an action remains one of the most effective ways of addressing historical wrongs and systemic deprivation. Point to be noted. It is an action which is in yes, you can do it, go ahead. This is one of the most effective ways of doing what? Of addressing historical wrongs, wrong things, wrong decisions, something that went wrong in the history, and systemic deprivation. Systemic, not systematic. Anything that is related to a system is known as systemic. Okay, so systemic deprivation को और historical wrongs को address करना है, then this is the thing. The most recent attempt to address deep rooted discrimination against persons with disabilities in Tamil Nadu is likely to have a far reaching impact for the community. So, the second line also is slightly full of hope that there will be some change, and persons with disabilities who were facing discrimination till now, there is gonna be something good for them. CM MK Stalin tabled two bills. Now, you can often we think the word table is a noun. Okay, it is also verb. This means to formally present. Okay, and formally present a proposal, a legislature, a discussion. It can happen in a meeting. It can happen in any setup where a thing is to be decided. And what do we get to see here? It tabled two bills in assembly last week to increase the number of persons with disabilities in all local bodies in the state. While one bill seeks to nominate persons with disabilities to all town panchayats, so the first one, there were two bills. First one is related to nominating people with disabilities to all the town panchayats, municipal councils and corporations with amendments to the Local Bodies Act. Now this is the first one. Second one intends to bring into law the decision to nominate one person to all village panchayats. Now this is important, where the seat should be allocated, where the nomination, not seat, but the nomination should be allocated is described here. This is the description. One thing you will notice here is something that we also practice in Parajambal is inverted pyramid. We cannot start directly taking a deep dive into what happened. We have to build uh, context here, and for that we need a backstory, then what happened, and then you can see after telling what happened, after he tabled two bills, now author is explaining two bills. Same thing you follow in your essay writing also. Okay, so keep in mind those structures that we need to follow in our writings. Okay, so the second one intends to bring into law the decision to nominate one person with disabilities to all village panchayats, panchayat union councils, district panchayat by amending the Panchayat Act. There are two kinds of amendments that we need for these bills. Mr. Stalin once said once these bills are enacted, there would be guaranteed posts for so many people with disabilities in local bodies, so many in village panchayats, so many in unions, beside 37% with disabilities in district panchayat. So these are the numbers. Don't go ahead with the numbers. Just make sure that you are clear on the idea that there are many numbers added. In case such an article is asked in exam, please go ahead and read the portion where number is given and answer. Otherwise, it's a nice number. That's it. I need to know in my head. At the moment, there are only 35 persons with disabilities in local bodies, urban local bodies. He informed the House. Besides ensuring dignity for persons with disabilities, इसके अलावा that we should treat these people with dignity and eroding stigma and discrimination, this change would empower the community, involving their representatives in decision making at the grassroots level. So he is justifying why he is doing it, or why these bills, both of them, are important. That apart from the dignity part, it is about working on stigma, discrimination, empowering the community, involving them, and much more. Okay. In It is the role of government to take along its citizen, particularly those who may have an impediment. Now, it is the role of government. He is again talking about who should take responsibility to take along its citizen, particularly those who may have an impediment that might come in a way of their harnessing equal opportunities as the rest of the population. Equality build karna. In short, I don't have to go in depth of the thought here. After the 73rd and 74th amendments of the Constitution that allowed for one-third representation of all seats in Panchayati Raj and urban local bodies to be reserved for women, some states, including Tamil Nadu, increased this to 50%. Okay, so one-third say 50%, just like what Tamil Nadu has done. Some of the more states, they have done the same. So they are working towards establishing equality, inclusion. Since then, the very raucous and long drawn out battle, a very harsh battle, was finally resolved in 2023 with Women's Reservation Act being passed for 33% for women in Lok Sabha and state legislative assemblies. So again, all good happening. I would like you to tell me the tone of the passage at the end, okay? Like in 2 minutes. This will be effective after the publication of the census conducted following the Act's commencement. Now, this thing will be effective after publication of census conducted through the Act's commencement. Following the Act's commencement, जब से वो शुरू हुआ है Act, जब से लागू हुआ है, then post that कितना effective है, if it panned out or not. Okay, this is what we are still to see. Meanwhile, Tamil Nadu's efforts to appoint persons with disability. Tamil Nadu के efforts to appoint persons with disability is the first such effort in the country at bringing a marginalized community not merely into mainstream but as the leaders of society. So it's not like including them but making them into leader, giving them leadership roles, thus raising their profile and larger acceptance, besides bringing change that will benefit the rest of the society. And through that, they are gonna change, of course, how the society works or how the society treats these people, such people. Given the initial experiment experience of implementing women's reservation Panchayati Raj, taking example of it, where women panchayat leaders were de facto replaced by. De facto means in reality it is happening. At the same time, may not be official, but in reality it is happening. Replaced by husband in decision making. It is important that the government ensures. Now here there is a um, thing to be considered. Okay, it is important that the government ensures the benefit truly reaches the intended. In this case, persons with disability. Last two lines पर focus करो. Initial experience when women's reservation was implemented, the women panchayat leaders were actually their leaders were replaced by their husbands in decision making. So yes, on papers, in front of everyone, women were the leaders, but the main action that they should take were, or the decision making, it was done by their husbands. So it was not the real intention of women reservation. Now in this case, persons with disabilities, we need to make sure that the benefit actually reaches to the intended, the person with disability, and it should not be transferred, behind the curtain to someone else. तो ये एक चेतावनी के जैसे है. It is like, a kind of warning. We need to make sure that the one who actually wants it gets it, and this is how it is. Okay, so let's start with the grammar part. Okay, let's do the vocabulary and then we'll do the grammar part. Affirmative action, policies favoring disadvantaged groups to address inequality. A positive, affirmative is positive, saying yes. Positive discrimination, reservation, affirmative action that is in the favor of those who are at disadvantage. Systemic deprivation, that is long standing denial of rights or its resources by institutions, by the system. There is injustice, but in a structural manner. सिस्टम रिलेटेड इनजस्टिस, जिसे हम संस्थागत वंचना कहते हैं. टेबल अ बिल, that is to formally present. Now I was talking about this. This is used as a verb here, and it is to formally present a proposal, especially in a legislature. Introduce karna, present karna, but in a formal setup. Stigma is a mark of shame or disapproval associated with a condition. It's like a taboo, social taboo, some kind of disgrace, some kind of a mark that you do not belong to general public, like that. Grassroots level, this is the basic level, the ground level, level zero of any kind of a structure, organization, society. So community level in this context is what we are talking about कि ज़मीनी स्तर पर काम करना पड़ेगा. Impediment is anything that is a barrier, that is an obstacle, किसी प्रकार की बाधा, किसी प्रकार की रुकावट. To harness something, it is a vocabulary we often get to see in exam, so please pay attention to this one, special attention to this one. Effectively using something to take full use of something. किसी चीज़ को जब हम हार्नेस करते हैं तो वी कंट्रोल इट, वी चैनल इट एंड टेक फुल यूज ऑफ इट. इस प्रकार का यूटिलाइज करना, उपयोग करना. ओके. इरोडिंग, gradually weakening or reducing something. Now destroying and eroding both are doing the same work, end result is same, but they are not the same meaning words. Eroding is gradually something is depreciating, getting weak. Okay, deteriorating. Destroy is, it could be in one day, in 1 minute, in 1 month. It could be any kind of destruction, maybe a quick one or elongated one, doesn't matter. Commencement is to start something. Raucous is loud, disorderly, noisy. It's very hurting to our ears. Like debates, arguments, jhagda, jig and all, that's raucous. De facto, of course, it's a borrowed English word, okay, in practice, okay, even if not legally established. So anything which is unofficial, but in reality it is. Or like we saw, women leaders, they are there just for the sake of their name and just because they are women. But actually, in reality, in practice, unofficially, husbands are making decisions. So that's why de facto was used over there. Okay, it was used as an adverbial phrase. Okay, marginalized, pushed to the edges, lacking power of voice, those people जिनको कमजोर समझा जाता है, okay, excluded, disadvantaged because of some reason they are unable to um, come into leadership. So now I'll give you some questions. Please mm, answer these questions here in the chat. I want you to tell me subject and verb, main subject and verb of this sentence. No one? Okay, not no issue. Please understand. This is a complex subject. The most recent attempt. First of all, if your subject is not beginning with a preposition, okay, you search for the first noun. Okay, exception is apostrophe s. उसको बाद में कभी करेंगे. So first noun क्या है sentence का? The most recent attempt. Okay, this is my first noun. This is my subject, which is singular. Attempt to do what, किसने किया, कब किया. We can have a lot of information in between the subject and verb. So the most recent attempt to address deep rooted discrimination against these people where in Tamil Nadu is likely. Okay, so is here, attempt is the subject which is singular, is uska verb. It is likely to have a far fetching impact. Okay, now my second question to you all is this set of word. Okay, now please know this thing. Even editorials can have some mistakes, grammar mistakes. That's totally okay. We have seen in past. They are not common, but it's not like it's impossible. Tell me if this is correct. Okay, or do you think it should be deeply rooted discrimination? I'm giving you some time to think over it. Deep rooted discrimination, if this is correct, or it should be deeply rooted discrimination. Okay, always check both the words with the noun. Okay, rooted है, ठीक है, some rooted discrimination, That's something to say. So this is of course an adjective. Discrimination is your noun. Can I say deep discrimination? Yeah, discrimination can go deep down. So saying deep with discrimination can work, plus deep hyphen rooted. Okay. Some people can think deep is an adjective alone, but deep can also act as an adverb. Deeply is also an adverb, and deep is also an adverb. Okay. So deep rooted altogether coming is giving us, it is one whole adjective, deep adjective plus rooted adjective, altogether one adjective in this case, and discrimination. Okay, so it's correct, it's not wrong, but just wanted you to think that way. Next question to all of you. You need to answer me. This is a lengthy sentence, so take some time and think. What kind of connector is used in this sentence and why it is used? So you tell me the purpose of it and point out the connector, the conjunction used in this sentence. Answer is while. Now, while is used in two ways. First is to talk about contrast. But this is not a contrast. It is not one bill saying something, there is another bill saying something opposite to the first one. So the second use of while, it is when two things are happening, like one hand one thing is happening, another hand कुछ और हो रहा है. Two things जो साथ साथ में हो रही हैं, two things happening parallelly. So यहाँ पर भी हम while का use करते हैं. Okay. So here while is used so that we can talk about two parallel things taking place. Okay. Next question. Subject and verb of this sentence. Subject and verb of the sentence that I have marked. So this is the case where there is temporary subject. That means actual subject is after the verb. So only 35 persons, because we have 35 persons. My noun after verb is plural. There के बाद R लगा है. अगर one होता there is one person, then is हो जाता. So this is the case of there as a temporary subject. Part of speech of this word. Part of speech of this word. It is your noun. Representatives in what का आंसर हमेशा noun होता है. This is a compound noun, to be specific. Okay, last one. Part of speech of this word. You people are not answering today. I know this is an odd time for many students to be present, but just for today. Part of speech of this one. Make sure to like and share, guys. This is also an adjective, okay? Chalo. We'll see the summary. Just a recap. How do you summarize? Learn this technique also. So, Tamil Nadu has proposed pioneering legislation to guarantee representation for persons with disabilities in all local bodies, urban and rural. See, in one line, the whole essence is covered. Who proposed? What was proposed? Why it was proposed? Like what it is doing. This is the skill which you have to develop. This is really required for descriptive papers in English, okay? This initiative could drastically increase their presence from 35 people to over 13,000. इतना calculation नहीं करना है, but this is a summary by me, so yeah, I included. While such affirmative action ensures dignity and combats stigma, the editorial warns that, as seen in women's reservation, true empowerment must ensure actual agency, not symbolic post. At the end, we saw there was a warning. Okay, this is what it was, that just like in the case of women's reservation, though women were the face, actual decision making was done by someone else, their husbands. So here we need to be careful about it. The move is historic in bringing a marginalized community into leadership, setting a national precedent. So this move, because pioneer, they are the ones doing it for the first time, but its success will depend upon careful implementation and protection from tokenism. So this is what we get to see. Now, with respect to the exam angle, some of the topics where you can include this information of editorial: disability rights and political representation in India. You can give this detail, this information as example. Affirmative action and inclusive governance, inclusivity. So you can talk about women's reservation plus this one. Stigma to leadership, challenges in implementing representation based policies. All you can do is, like, if not asked anything that relates to disability rights specifically, you can still talk about empowerment and use this article, this information as example. Question number one. Let's see how much you remember. This is an exercise, uh, brain, increase, brain power increasing exercise. How much information you can hold just through one read. That is what we are going to do. So please answer. I should come up with a proper name for that. Answer is C. Which of the following best reflects the primary goal of the proposed bills on disability? To fulfill constitutional requirement? There is no requirement. This is an initiative by them. A is out. To ensure representation of persons with disabilities in judiciary, very specific, not mentioned. To reserve posts with persons with disabilities in all local government bodies, urban and rural. Yes, that's what we read. This also is a specific option. Then education sector alone, we are talking about all government bodies, and yeah, answer was C. Easy. Yeah, go ahead. Okay, answer to this one is also see what concern does the editorial raise regarding implementation of the disability representation. It may violate international convention, no, not mentioned, not at all. It could lead to reverse discrimination, not mentioned. The real decision making may be overtaken by proxies. That means just like what we saw in the women's reservation bill. So yeah, C was your answer. I have explained it like 3 times, I think. So not taking it deeper. Follow. Next. Mhm. Answer is C. The women's reservation in Panchayati Raj institution. That was the example we find in the editorial. Next. Okay. Simple one again. The option is C, the correct one. How does editorial contrast Tamil Nadu's move? There is a contrast, and how editorial is doing that to reserve seats for persons with disabilities with earlier representation policy. So earlier it was only inclusion of them. It was a symbolic inclusion, हाँ आप भी हो. But now what Tamil Nadu is doing is trying to put these people or this community into a position where they can lead the whole community and more people. So this is what it presents a new move because pioneer wala cheez mentioned tha as a step beyond inclusion. It is much more than that. There you go. Next one. So according to the editorial, how does Tamil Nadu's move differ from past inclusion efforts? Answer is B. It brings a marginalized group into mainstream political leadership. Okay, special education policies, urban employment or financial aid. तीनों ही mention नहीं है. So through elimination in such a question can also help. Error detection. Detect the error. It would be good if you can answer here which part has error. Answer is C. New legislation, singular है, seeks to ensure disabled persons are nominated in every level, every each. These two adjectives, if we have a noun immediately after them, then the noun is going to be a singular noun. They take singular noun after them. Okay, so each level of local governments. Question number 2. There you go. Answer to this one is B. Tamil Nadu's efforts. That's my noun. See, so it doesn't start, the sentence doesn't start with a preposition, but in this case, first noun has an apostrophe. Then we go to the noun that is attached to apostrophe. This is my subject, efforts. So R आएगा, is नहीं आएगा. Efforts at representation are a landmark moment for disability rights and grassroots inclusion. Next one. Answer to this one is D. The bills aim not to just reduce, okay, not only same hai, but also, okay, to now understand this, okay, but also to enable leadership roles for people with disabilities. यहाँ तक तो हो गया. Thereby raising their societal profile. Now thereby what? We need a gerund and a gerund phrase. Gerund को और आगे भी समझाना है. So raising आएगा, and there you go. We also have to check the parallelism here, not just to reduce, इसमें हमने बस to पहले बोल दिया है, but also to enable, so that's okay. Still infinitive जिसका parallelism यहाँ apply हुआ है. There you go. Answer this one. E. No error. It is important what that real representation is achieved is verb third form, and that nominees plural hai are not manipulated by whom? By those con without disabilities. Nothing went wrong there. Okay, so the last one answer here is B. After the Women's Reservation Act was passed. After is a connector. It's a conjunction here. The Reservation Act was passed. अब इधर पे हमारे पास में एक ब्रेक लगेगा. It will only come into effect. Now, it will come. This only is not what we want here, because it is unnecessary. Okay, another thing is because the consistency of tense is to be maintained. So after the act was passed, what happened? It comes into effect. It will come into effect or comes into effect following the publication of the next census. Now, after the act was passed, or what we are saying is the act का pass होना वाला step is over, there will be a next step which is going to be in future or in present. So it will only come into effect. Using the word only makes no sense at all here. We can say will come, it will come into effect later on, or it comes into effect. That also would do that there is a logical result of act being passed. Okay, so this is what we have. That's it. Thank you so much. I'm gonna see you later, guys. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Bye bye. Take care. See you tomorrow.